Good evening. I'm going to call to order the joint meeting on the Committee on Infrastructure and the Board of Police Commissioners. A joint meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners and the Committee of Infrastructure was or is being held this Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Automatic Chamber. If you are participating via Zoom, please state your presence, reason for not attending the meeting in person, and whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the Right to Know law. Will my clerk please take the roll?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Nicholas Dahl. Commissioner Gwen Crelo.
Present.
Commissioner James Tollner. Alderman Chris Thibodeau.
Here.
Alderman John Sullivan.
I'm here on Zoom because I'm traveling for work and there is no one in the room with me.
Alderman Richard Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Patricia Klee is here. Alderman at Large Michael O'Brien Sr.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 present, 6 in attendance and 5 present.
Okay. Also in attendance is Mr. Tim Cummings, our Administrative Services Director, and Mr. Tim Lemire, LaValle Bresinger. And I think we're going to pick up, did the, Mr. Cummings, refresh me, was the last meeting canceled because of a lack of a quorum?
Correct.
So if you're all, we're going to have to take a step back at that particular time and just go over what Director Cummings and myself kind of approved for some of the bills. If you remember, as we discussed before, to keep the ball rolling, we have the authority to do so up to a different amount. And so that's enough of the housekeeping. I'll open it up to public comment, to which we don't seem to have anybody in the peanut gallery. So moving along is I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes. Alderman Klee.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 5th, 2025 meeting by roll call.
Okay. This will be by roll call. Can you go through the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Dahl is not here, sorry. Commissioner Crelo?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller is not here. Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I am going to not vote at this moment because I was not here for that.
I think you can approve the minutes, but, okay.
I
gotta
will
abstain?
apologize. I abstained
Yeah,
because
okay.
I did not watch the
Yeah,
meeting.
sure, we'll
so-
allow that, yeah.
Okay. So I will abstain from that, and I apologize for not watching the meeting. Alderman Dowd
Yes.
and Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 yeas.
5
and 1
yeas
abstention.
and 1 abstention. Very good. I declare that motion carries. General progress update. And I think at this time, what we're going to do is look to Director Tim Cummings to provide us with a project status. Please, Director Cummings.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. I want to note that we actually have Captain Moriarty on with us as well via Zoom. So if something arises or a question needs to be asked, she is available. And I thank her for being here this evening with us remotely. With that being said, additionally, I have the Owner's Project Manager, Tim Lemire, with us from GPI, and we have Adam Hunter from Whiting Turner, our construction manager. As you noted, Mr. Chairman, at the start of the meeting, our March meeting was canceled, and so this evening, the goal tonight is to give everyone an update from the progress from when we met in February to now. I am pleased to report that construction is underway, and we are moving fast and furiously through the project. which Mr. Lemire will start with his PowerPoint presentation to give everyone an update. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hand it over to Tim Lemire at this moment.
Sure, Mr. Lemire.
Okay, thank you. And if you don't mind, just continue.
Tell me what
And
to change.
also, before you start, to our members who are attending via Zoom, we enlarged the PowerPoint presentation on the screens in the chamber. So if you have something to say or a question, can you please speak up so we can recognize you? Thank you.
Great, okay.
Sorry.
There we go. As noted by Mr. Cummings, we are under active construction right now. The main focus is exterior earthwork operations as well as simultaneously proceeding with interior renovations. And Hunter from Whiting Turner will give a little bit more detail on the specific operations in just a moment. We also have still our last design item is the generator design, which is at 95% complete. So that's currently submitted to us and under city review. If you recall that specific design, we may not implement into the construction project. It may be shelved due to cost, but we're pretty much at the end of the design phase on that. For contract items that are on this week's agenda, we have two changes, both for $0, and the first change is for the change from the general requirements in the GMP into site work for test pitting for underground utilities and, utility miss mitigation. And the second one is also $0, but it's a change from an earthwork allowance item into a specific earthwork line on the schedule of values for some additional clearing that needed to happen for the security fencing. Those two combined into a owner's change order number 1, which is really just an administrative change. It's for $0. So as you can see, we're progressing through a few things, but we're more so just designating contingency funds as opposed to adding project costs right now.
You want questions as you go along, or wait till the
No,
end?
go ahead, please.
So, I know it's a $0 change, but you're actually spending money out of a different line, so it's not
That's
a
right.
reduction in cost of the project. It's just the change order is allowing the accounting of the costs from one line to a different line.
That's exactly right.
Same thing for the tree removal, but my only question on the tree removal is, how did we miss 2 trees?
That was my question.
Police commission has had the same question.
Yeah, if you remember what most of the trees that we were accounting to take down were in the retaining wall area. So that's adjacent to Riverside Street. These trees in particular, if I recall correctly, are further down Riverside towards the high school where the gate, we're not doing a swinging gate anymore, but a sliding gate. So now there's 2 trees that would be impacted by a couple small changes of the gate layout in the fence layout to do so.
So
So that's why.
they technically weren't missed. It was that after evaluation of the design of the gate, you found that trees had to be removed, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I could, Mr. Chairman, I just want to note
Absolutely.
for the record, because I know preserving trees is a sensitive item here in the city, so we are maintaining a log of the trees being removed, and it is the plan to replace them at the end of the project as appropriate. So we maintain a 1-for-1 tree count.
I think you want to have Commissioner Coelho, she's responsible, I think, for the design of the grounds around the police station, if I'm not correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be happy to work
Question,
with
Alderman Clay?
Thank you. When we say we're replacing the trees, are we using the the tree program within Public Works? Or are we going to be purchasing these trees?
It's accounted for within this project, and we would be within this project only. And it was a requirement of the planning department to ensure that we preserve the trees.
Okay, thank you.
And further question, if I may, Director Cummings, that is going to be on-site, or is it within the city?
The intention is for it to be on-site. I would say it might be technically within the right-of-way at the end of the day, but it will be within the general area.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just a couple other points, and this is just...
Absolutely, please.
Thank you. This is just a little housekeeping, and it's really for the viewers at home. We typically refer to a couple of these items differently, and I just wanted to kind of note for the record that what we are seeing here referred to as CNOs, we have in the past referred to them as potential change orders, and so I just wanted to kind of flag that. It means essentially the same thing, but working with Whiting Turner, this is the verbiage that they use. Additionally, when it comes to OCOs, we often refer to them as PCCOs. And again, that's just a little nuance here that I wanted to get clear on the record. They essentially mean the same things for us, but it's just a little bit a different terminology.
Thank you. And, Alderman Dowd, yes, sir.
So again, for clarification, the OCO number 1 for incorporating CNO 1 and 2 are basically just changing the language in the base contract to account for the change in line item coverage.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I do have one additional question. If we could take a step back to the generator, that might be scrapped initially, or?
I believe, Mr. Chairman, and we'll kind of peel back the layers on this a little bit later into the project, but the intention would be is to have it designed at the 95 to 100%-ish level, and then go seek grants to try to obtain a grant now that we have a design in place to be able to add it into the project. If it's the desire and we have the capacity within the project a little bit later on and we want to change order it in, we could certainly have that conversation.
And where that building is still a shared tenant occupancy, could that other group get involved in searching for the grant as well, too? Has that been potentially explored?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Good, fantastic. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the other item that will be discussed in a little bit more detail later on would be a third-party testing materials work that will be inside the GMP, and that's why that's currently listed for $0 as well. So Whiting Turner has, just like any other sub, has evaluated bids from materials testers that are qualified and has brought one forth to us. That fee is already covered in the GMP, so that would also be a $0 change. It would just be designating money already in the GMP earmarked for materials testing to an actual now named sub-consultant. Just a quick overview on project cost. So currently, the GMP value is $2,351,632. Currently, Whiting Turner has invoiced the city $244,000 of that, and that's what is on the agenda to review this evening. My overall project cost is unchanged from February, which is still a total project cost at $3.5 million, and we still have the same. We're still on track with all of our included soft costs and owner-supplied needs. So right now we're on track at both the GMP level and the overall project cost level. And this is also, this last item is also unchanged from February, which is we do have included some funds earmarked for site civil design around the police station. That was approved in the total $3.5 million project cost approval from, I think, the end of 2024 when the $3.5 million was approved. And I'll pass it off to Adam Hunter from Whiting Turner for a few more specific construction updates.
Sure. So go click here.
Under the clock. That's where the
Gotcha.
meter-
Okay. So we mobilized to site end of March-ish, and then subcontractors started performing work, mostly enabling work at first, kind of, instead of bulletizing some, the various activities that are complete, I kind of put a few photos up here to show. But essentially put up temp fencing for security reasons, put up sediment and erosion control, as you can see here, and started working on things like tree removal, miscellaneous clearing of areas, as well as starting some of the earthwork that needs to take place in order to build the new garage. And then on the inside of the building, we started doing a lot of selective demolition, everything essentially we could do. We started framing walls this past month, and there's not a lot of that, but we started doing rough-in for electrical and for data. And then the skylight infills progressed substantially over the last month as well. And so this is, I'm not going to read every item here, but 6-week look ahead, essentially just kind of continuing to expand into our the construction of the garage outside over the next month or so. And then once the site work contractor has completed excavating and prepping for concrete for that building, they're going to go out and start working on retaining wall removal, light pole removal, some things like that, and then kind of get into permanent fence a little bit later into June. On the inside of the building, we're going to continue rough-in electrical, start working on occupancy sensors, start working on data cable work, building out the new data room, and that'll kind of continue through most of the summer, honestly. And then also early in June, we're going to be looking at pouring foundations and starting slab on grade. Any questions on the plan for the next?
Alderman Dowd.
I think I remember this from the discussions earlier, but you're gonna have to do a whole new fire alarm system in that building, right?
No. Nope.
You may want to check with the fire department, because anytime you touch a building, if the fire alarm system is not up to code, they're gonna make you change it. You may want to just double check with them before we get too far, because
Yeah, absolutely.
before you start finishing walls, you want to,
Yeah, and when I say finishing walls, it's a pretty small piece of work, because we're in a corner, in an existing corner of the building where we put up a wall to make another kind of closet-sized room, and that's essentially, other than adding some additional doorways, that's essentially the change to the civil footprint of the building.
I just say that because every time we touch a school, even if we're just doing the security vestibule update, we end up having to replace the entire fire alarm system in the school. It's mandated by the fire marshal, so maybe you just want to double check with them.
Yes, will do. A couple other slides, just showing logistics. So if you were to swing by the facility, it already looks a lot different with the temp fence up, with our our job site boards and things like that up, and some of the selective site work and demo that have started. And then this is we're calling it a phasing plan, but it's a phasing plan specific to the permanent fence installation, which we're in the process of procurement right now, so that should be in the June timeframe as the 6-week look ahead. put forward, but this is kind of how, because we need to maintain security while we're installing this, you know, so pulling back temp fence and installing permanent fence simultaneously, and making sure it's sealed up every day. So we put a plan together to address how we're gonna do that with that subcontractor. And that's it.
On the fencing, will the other tenant have access during this phase?
So the fence, the other tenant's parking area and access is on the other side of the building, so we're completely separate from them.
So they'll be all set?
Yes.
Okay. I hate to fence them, they're out. Okay.
So we did keep, Mr. Chairman, we did keep with the understanding that the police would probably need, or will need access to the parking lot that we're occupying right now at times. We've done kind of a daisy chain on our locks, so either us or the police department can open the gate of the temporary fence anytime.
Can you get a key to the fire department?
Yes,
Because that will save you a lock.
yeah, absolutely.
Because they have their own set of keys. You just won't be happy with them.
Chairman O'Brien,
Yes, Alderman Sullivan, please.
thank you very much. I know we're talking a lot about the outside of the building, but it just struck me, I remember with the DPW being in there, there were concerns about HVAC. That's being addressed, correct? We're completely redoing that.
If you
Yes,
want,
you
Mr.
may.
Chairman.
Director Cummings.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, to answer Alderman Sullivan's question, yes, we are addressing whatever mechanical, particularly the ventilation, heating, air conditioning. There's limited scope necessary for this project, but we are taking all those concerns into consideration as we're developing this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, what are we doing on the outside of the building? Are we changing the materials on the outside portion of the building? Or if not, when are we going to take all that mold, black stuff off of the building with power washing?
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong, I don't think there's really much intention to change much of the facade. But I believe we will look at power washing the building at the end of the project to remove some of that mold and whatnot. But if I'm erroring in that
No,
comment, please let me know.
during design, it wasn't, we had looked into a few exterior replacement options, and none of them were really cost-effective for the intended use of the building as a, partially occupied training facility. So I would agree with Mr. Cummings that it would be more reasonable to pursue a pressure washing at the end of construction, because then we'll be doing that most likely anyway with typical construction dust and cleaning efforts. But no, we did look into some replacement, but it wasn't something that was going to be affordable.
Okay. Is that the end of the presentation so far?
Yep.
Okay, any additional questions by members of the committee? Okay. Seeing next.
Next, Mr. Chairman, I'd seek approval for some of the change orders that are listed here.
Okay. Yes, Alderman Clay, do you have a motion then on that?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve change order notification number 1, whereby Whiting Turner deployed a new utility locating avoidance policy, and in lieu of carrying the associated costs in a subcontractor scope. This is a $0 change order and serves to transfer the appropriate funds from Whiting Turner to form up Site Works subcontract. By roll call, please.
Okay, discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Will Alderman Clay please take the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Creel?
I approve.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Alderman Dowd?
Yes.
Alderman Clee says yes, and Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 6 yeas.
Okay, 6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. All right. Director Cummings, do you want to introduce, we have another
Yes, Mr.
potential
Chairman.
motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'd ask that you favorably approve change notification order number 2. It's a $0 change order where we are remove 2 additional trees, and it was something that was anticipated, but this is a change from an allowance line item.
Would you like me to read that motion?
Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve change notification number 2. This is a $0 change order for the removal of 2 additional trees at Riverside Street by roll call.
Okay, discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by, gotta be roll call.
Yes.
Okay, could the
Commissioner-
clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Crayola,
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau,
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan,
Yes.
Alderman Clee says yes, Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
and Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
And you have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, we do have an addition, that motion carries, and we do have an additional motion. Can, Director Cummings, can you introduce it?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is owner change order number 1. It essentially incorporates the CN01 and CN02 into this first owner's contract, this primary contract change order, this OCO number 1. It's a $0 change order. I'll note for the record, just as a matter of housekeeping, we often try to have the CNOs approved the month prior, and then you'll typically see the CNOs in the following month's OCO. However, we're getting this project up and running, and so this is a little unusual to see it laid out this way, but it's a $0 change, and so I just wanted to make that disclaimer known when moving forward. I would anticipate us doing the CNOs in one meeting, and those CNOs being incorporated into whatever OCO we're doing the following month. And at any rate, Mr. Chairman, I'd ask for your favorable approval of this motion this evening.
Okay, Alderman Clee, can you please read the motion?
I would be happy to, thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I motion to approve OCO number 1, which is a $0 contract change by roll call.
Okay, can the clerk call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Craylow,
Yes.
Commissioner Thibodeau, I'm sorry, Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Alderman Sullivan,
Yes.
Alderman Clee says yea, Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
And you have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, moving on next is approval of invoices and requisitions. Director Cummings, can you introduce
Yes, thank you.
potentially the next motion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So first motion up, I'm asking for your favorable approval of an invoice for architectural services for La Valley Bresinger Architects in the amount of $23,145.37 for work that they performed up through February 13th.
Okay, Alderman Clee, can you read the motion?
Absolutely. Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve the February 13th, 2025 La Valley Bresinger Architects invoice in the amount of $23,145.37 by roll call.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Craylow,
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau,
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan,
Yes.
Alderman Clee says yea, Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
and Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, motion carries. Director Cummings, there's another pending motion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'd ask for your favorable approval this evening of a Whiting Turner invoice for $10,000 for work that they performed during the pre-construction phase of this project, where they assisted us in the development of the project, and they are seeking $10,000 payment for services rendered and I'd ask for your favorable consideration of this motion.
Okay, Alderman Clay, can you read the motion then?
There's no discussion, absolutely.
Well, we'll discuss it after you introduce the motion.
Okay, sorry. Oh, my goodness, okay. Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve the February 7th, 2025 Whiting Turner invoice in the amount of $10,000 by roll call.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Absolutely. Commissioner Craylow?
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Alderman Cleese says yes. Alderman Dowd?
Yes.
And Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, motion carries. Director Cummings, another pending motion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have an invoice for GPI for the work performed by our owner's project manager up through December 18th for $1,256.87. I ask for your favorable approval of this invoice.
Okay. Alderman Clay, can you introduce the motion, please?
Absolutely. Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve the December 18th, 2024 Greenman Peterson Incorporated invoice in the amount of $1,256.87 by roll call.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Craylow?
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Alderman Cleese says yes. Alderman Dowd?
Yes.
And Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, I'll look again to, that motion carries, and I'll look again to Director Cummings.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this evening, I'm asking for your favorable approval of Whiting Turner's requisition number 1 for work performed up through April 30th of 2025 in the amount of $244,937.65. Mr. Chairman, I want to make sure you are aware that this evening, this requisition was reviewed in detail and has been approved and signed off on by our architect, our OPM, the police department, and myself, and I'd ask for your favorable approval of this requisition this evening.
Very good. Alderman Clay, could you introduce a motion?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve Whiting Turner requisition number 1 invoice of April 30th, 2025 in the amount of $244,937.65 by roll call.
Okay, any discussion on the motion?
Director Cummings, could you explain the difference between an invoice and a requisition, please?
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, you may.
Essentially, there's no real difference between a requisition and an invoice. It's just, I have found over the years that when we're dealing with construction projects, particularly contracted through this nature, we call them requisitions, but you could refer to it as an invoice as well.
So we're still writing a check?
Correct. Yes, at the end of the day, we are still writing a check. We can't get away from that.
Want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on.
Want me to do the roll call?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Craylow?
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Alderman Cleese says yes. Alderman Dowd?
Yes.
And Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, that motion carries. And now we'll have the potential approval of new contract proposals. Director Cummings, are there any?
So, Mr. Chairman, actually, one proposal did come in after the agenda was set, and so we don't need to necessarily approve it this evening, though I do anticipate we'll need to get it approved at some time over the next month or thereabouts. It's the third-party testing that was referenced. It'll be a $0 because it is carried within the GMP of Whiting Turner. It's for third-party testing. I will get this document out to everyone so you're aware, but it's essentially an $8,300 cost when the time comes, and I just want to get that out on the record so folks are aware and can anticipate that being before you in short order.
All right, then we'll have that by the next meeting, I take it. Okay. Moving on to general financial overview, Director Cummings.
No, nothing new to report, and as our OPM, Tim Lemire, provided to you during his presentation, the project's on schedule and it's on budget.
Okay. And moving on to old and miscellaneous business items.
There are none this evening that I'm aware of,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Just for my cleaning of the house, stuff we did in February has been approved, so we're all set on that, correct?
Correct, yes.
So it does not need to be brought up. Yes, Alderman Clay.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, the presentation that was given, that will be given to Ms. Graham for the record.
Yes, I will
Yes.
make sure that Ms. Graham gets all the handouts this evening.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Alderman Clay. Okay,
So, Mr. Chairman, I want to propose a June 11th next meeting, if that could work for the group. That would be my request this evening, and if that works for folks, I'll work with Ms. Graham to get that set up.
okay, June 11th. Commissioner Craylow, could you pass that word on to your cohorts there so they're aware of the potential we'll be meeting again?
Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Same time, 5:30?
Yes.
Okay, 5:30 seems to be a good time. and-
Subject to Ms. Graham's confirmation.
Yes. And we all properly live by Ms. Graham. Yes, indeedy. Thank God we have her.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, I'm looking for everybody's favorite motion. Alderman Clay.
Sorry, I was
It's
not
quite all right.
expecting it to be me. Okay. Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn by roll call.
Okay, you were doing so good in the other motions, I figured keep the ball rolling. Can you please call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Craylow?
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan?
Yes.
Alderman Clee says absolutely, yes. Alderman Dowd?
Yes.
And Alderman O'Brien?
Yes.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Okay, that motion carries, and I'll declare the joint committee adjourned at 6:08 PM. And I thank everybody for coming.